Good morning, Allie. Today we are going to be painting a scenic route type looking thing. Hopefully I have enough clean brushes. I really need to clean mine. And I've been having some issues uploading to YouTube, so I'm also hoping I can get most of them done sooner rather than later. So I don't know if you can see it from the video, but I do have, let me turn down the music a little bit. I do have kind of an S shape drawn in a horizon line. So we're gonna start with that. Let me see. Now most art teachers will tell you not to use black, but I am a cheater, so I will use black. So I'm just gonna get some paint out maybe. That was a lot more than I probably needed. And then it's kind of redundant, but I'm just gonna pour out some white as well, even though technically in watercolor you shouldn't need white. Bruno says it looks like rain. Yeah, it took me like 4 hours to upload the last video that I made. So we're gonna hopefully get all of them done today and uploaded. Oh, I need to fix that. Well, that brush broke, but I like it, so we're just gonna super glue it real quick. Which, pro tip, I learned this actually using it in my aquarium, but if you put super glue underwater, it solidifies even quicker, putting way too much on here. We don't talk about no. Now I just gotta make sure I don't touch it, or else my fingers will be sticky all day. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take some of my water, take some of my white, bring it into this well. Just get it all nice and in there. Add in some of my black to make this nice gray. Use my pipette, add more water. Ta-da, we have gray. I'm just gonna follow that little S curve. This brush is thicker than I would usually use for watercolor, but I didn't prime it. Oh well, we'll see how this goes. I want not a sound out of you. I can hear him. Oh man. Just said I didn't want to touch the hot glue, or the super glue, and I did. Isabella, your boyfriend's here, dying for dinner. 7-foot frame and rats along his back when he calls your name. Let me get one right open. Alright, and it's kind of like an autumn scene. I guess I didn't have an orange open. So you're gonna make like a brownish orange. I'm gonna add water. Never should have mentioned Bruno. And I almost want to add some yellow to that. Now I only have a really bright like neon yellow, or maybe I do have a warm yellow. No, it's very cool yellow. So let me just add some of that there. This is a different palette because my other one is currently being used for, there we go, that's what I want. For another painting that I'm doing at the moment, add more water. Right, I'm just gonna, oh no, it was dirty. And then I just want to kind of blend it a little bit. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding water, no extra pigment to my brush. And I also want it over here. And I am just dabbing it on there. Now I'm gonna take this orange that I made earlier using the, let me give you some actual colors. I used yellow, ochre, and vermilion. And I'm just gonna go in and dab it above the horizon line that was already there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a more concentrated version of that under the surface. Make sure I'm more this if I can use it. I want this to be even more like red. Perfect. And again, I'm just gonna dab it all around, go into the other one. Really is no right or wrong way with this one. It's gonna be a pretty easy painting, I think. Adding a little bit more of the burnt umber. Okay, then I'm just gonna go back, add in some more over here. I'm like half following a tutorial on whatchamacallit? Pinterest? I do want this to be a little bit more yellow. I feel like I should have done a yellow wash before adding in the oranges. So right now it's just looking like a mess, but that's okay. It should all come together, hopefully. Let's add some off the path. Try to remember perspective a little bit, keep it in mind. Basically, when things get further away, they get smaller. which I'm not really following right here, but whatever, we're just here to have fun. And you can see a big difference already that I didn't wash this. It's bubbling like crazy right now. I'm trying to see if I can handle this. When I paint like this, I do a lot of water too, so that's probably not helping. Add some more yellow. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Baby, I need to know. Alright, now I'm going to go back to this, add a little bit of black, or add a little bit more black to it. But I don't want to use this brush. This brush is too big for that. This brush looks relatively clean, so I'll probably take this one. And then just... because why not? Try to keep it relatively clean for you. Cocaine, sugar with your friends. Pretend my face is you know to go there, I let you go where you want, go where you need, call me in the morning, I'll be on the way, go where you want, call me when you need, call me in the morning, I'll be on the way. Okay, so what I did was I just made a little bit of a darker gray. It's kind of hard to tell with the black here, but I just made a slightly darker gray, added it to the very edge over here, and then blended it out with water and the original gray that we started with. Now, I kind of like this setup that I have going now. I have my water inside another water. But I can put my brushes in it. And we're gonna cheat today, and we're gonna use a pre-mixed orange, or not orange, green. But I want it to be not crazy, crazy green. So color theory, orange, why do I keep saying orange? Green and red are complementary colors, which means, oh wait, I have a color wheel. 1 second. No, I don't want to find it. I don't know where I put it. Green, oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Let me figure out where that is. Okay. So green is directly across from red on the color wheel, which means when you mix them together, they neutralize each other. So if you go over here and we have green, if you add red to it, which is what this little window is here, it makes it like this purplish gray color. What we're working with is more of a yellow green right here. So when you add red, it turns it into this more red, orange, brownish baby poop color, which is what we want. I think. I hope. Sure it is. Alright, so we're just gonna add that. Just going up the walk. some back here. And then we want it to be slightly. So maybe like a. Same thing over here. For that color, I'm really bad at these tutorials because I just do and I forget that I actually have to tell you what to do. I just took the green that we just used, which was sap green, and mixed it with more of this burnt sienna color. And now I am just adding that onto here. So why not? This is not turning out how the inspiration is, but that's okay. It might come together in the end. Okay. Now what they did is they went back in with the deep red, and they added some more detail, just some extra spots. A lot less than that, but we're gonna be extra with it. Why not? Basically, you're just gonna dot and dab and do whatever you feel like over here, because these are gonna be leaves of the trees if you haven't put that together yet. Because I am really bad at telling you what we are doing. You just have to trust the process, I guess, when we're painting together. And I do want to add some more over here too, because I feel like this is very one-dimensional. Just so when I'm doing this, I'm not going straight, I'm going to the side. So let me see, do I have an extra piece of paper? I'll do it on the back of this one. So when I'm dabbing, I'm not going straight down. Let me get a different color. I'm not going straight down, because one, that would hurt my brush, and two, I don't like how these are so uniform. So what I'm doing is I'm going at it from a 45-degree angle and hitting it with the side of my brush, which this is a round brush that I think I've trimmed into more of a point. So it has this triangle shape to it. I really hope that's in the shot. So it makes a more organic shape. Should you call up you and your friends that I'll never see again? I'm gonna want to bring that up a little bit more. So I'm just kind of playing with it, moving the grass around where I want it. I'm gonna add a little bit of green. It's not in the picture over there, but I want to add it anyways. And then what they did was they added trees, like tree trunks. So we are going to do that. And wow, apparently burnt umber and burnt sienna are very different colors. Okay. So I'm gonna add some of this burnt umber to the palette. And the reason why I'm not adding it directly to the wells is because I'm going to be doing more videos for you, and I don't want to have to keep washing my palette and redoing it. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel and clean the wells itself, but leave the paint, so that as I go and as I need different colors, I can just pull from these blobs that I already have. This is a very, very red, crimson red. That would be why it's so red. All right. So I want to make get into it. Now with this, we should probably wait until it's all dry because we don't want this to bleed like at all. I'm gonna add a hint of black, which is a no-no, so we're gonna add a bit of green. Oh, that's brown. Now we're gonna add some red, because like I was saying, the green and the red kind of cancel each other out, so it's gonna give us a different brown color. Let me see. Nope, we are nowhere near dry. Okay. Have my coffee. I noticed that when I drink from mugs, I don't ever use the handle. I think that despite this looking nothing like the inspiration pic, it's gonna turn out just fine. I think a big problem that I was having with uploading to YouTube was the file size was too big. So let me just try to speed this along with the drying process. You can also use a blow dryer, but I don't know how to edit videos, and a blow dryer would be very, very loud for you. So, yeah. Get that out of there. These are my notes from school, which I just finished. One semester left to go, and then I get my degree. And before you ask, because everyone else has been asking, no, I don't know what I want to do. Okay, it should be dry enough now. I see it's still kind of wet down here. Well, the whole page is still wet. It needs to dry a lot more, but yeah. And I'll come back from a different painting that I'll do and show you how I fix. So right now, this is gonna either make or break it. I'm just gonna make some little trees coming up. It's okay if they're not straight. It's 2021. And there really is no rhyme or reason. Technically, as they get farther away, they should get brighter and lighter. That's just the way that perspective or whatever works. That one's kind of dark, so let me just, perfect. Gotta love the little blotting. And then when you're doing this, really notice how your brush strokes work. Because if I'm trying to make it super thin, then it's actually easier for me if I start at the bottom then work my way up. And it'll be like wispier for me. As opposed to if I go down, because you can see how fat this one is, because I'm putting more pressure on the down, whereas when I go up, the pressure lightens naturally. So yeah. Miss Dojo, why are you somewhat nasty right now? I'm not your mommy. Oh, a new hobby. Show your shit to my heart. We got some red in there, but it's okay. It'll just add to the look. And then just for making it a little bit more interesting, just kind of break off and give it some more trunks? No, not trunks, limbs. I don't like how dark that one was. Blot it. Ha ha ha. I think before I am, I'm not your friend or anything down. You think that you're oh no. Just make it work. Stop. What the hell are you talking about? Get my pretty name out of your mouth. You're not the same with or without. Don't talk about me like how you might know how I feel. Talk of the world, but your wasn't real. It wasn't ideal. So go and have fun. I really couldn't care less, and you can give it my best, but just know I'm not your friend or anything down. Wrong version of the song. I've been listening to a cover of this song that's like rock, and I almost like it better than the original. Okay, so now I want to go in and make these a little bit darker. I might do that afterwards. Right now we'll just get the basic shapes in. So with this one, this is going to be interesting. I'm just going to take the general direction that I want the tree to go in. And I'm going to find these darker areas. That's essentially our darker leaves. Not leaves, but like, yes, leaves. It's where there's more leaves. And just bring it all the way up. And just for drama, we'll add the branch coming off. You think that you're the man, I think that I am. I'm not your friend or anything down. I think that you're the man, I think that I am. Alright, now we have a general direction of where our leaves are. I'm just going to go ahead and remake that deep red with the burnt sienna and the orange, and just add a little bit more contrast with the deeper colors. I really don't like how these ones turned out, so I'm going to try to flesh them out with this red color, which is probably making it a little bit too like dark right there. We're losing the contrast. And I actually want to add in more yellow. I feel like we lost a lot of the yellow. So I'm just going to actually go in with straight yellow. Especially in here. I'll give it at least more of an orange as opposed to the red brownish color that seems to have taken over. And the same thing like down here. And because of perspective, I want the deepest red to be right here. So I'm gonna add that and then let it kind of fade out naturally. But naturally on purpose, since we're the ones making this. I feel like I need more trees. Another thing that I didn't point out was that as the trees get further in the distance, they get thinner. And they also get further back. So some of them won't even start until past the horizon line, which is that pencil line that's right there. Then as they get closer, they'll actually get closer to the front of the page. Come on, just add another. All right, here. I have no idea what it's playing right now. Go back in, try to get rid of this red, covering it up with this brown. Add a little bit more. Oh damn, they went like super extra with this. Okay. I don't think we're quite there yet. So okay. Now what they did was they took their green watered it down quite a bit, added it to all these white spots. And add more of that over here. Add more of that as well. All right, and then, nope, we're not gonna leave brushes like that. Take the black, whoops. And we're just gonna do white little strokes up and down the trees, just to give it a little bit more texture. Don't forget where they're going up into the leaves. And then what we're gonna try to do, which I didn't do right here, is remember where our light source is coming from. Because our light source is coming back here, so all the trees are gonna be lighter wherever they're facing the path. So right here I added a bit too much black on this side. But that's okay. And that's still very wet, so I don't want to do that one yet. And I think I just want to use straight up red. And I splashed just red. Go in. Yes. This is getting so messy, but it is okay. She in the gym tonight, work out at night. Hey, I'm getting wrecked tonight. R.I.P. that. Hey. She like to do a lot. I'm like a scribble and she got the face. Shoulder that ever get. And we're basically just going to blot until it feels right. I kind of want to go in and make these trees darker now that I know what kind of contrast we're going to be working with, which you don't know because you can't see the picture. So now I'm just going over it with black. just gonna take this. This is a lot of moisture right there. So I'm just gonna take that, just paint it black. Not getting wet tonight, or peanut. Hey, I'm going in tonight. Okay. And now they did some like shading all over the trail and everything. So, ooh, that's a bit much. We're basically just gonna do that. So everywhere there's a tree, you're just gonna line that. And this is a mixture of the brown that we made earlier and a tiny bit of black. And I am like dipping my brush to get more water than I am actual paint at this point. There's an actual honk in this song. I don't even know the words to these songs. If you ever show these videos to an actual art teacher, they'd probably cry, because I'm sure I'm doing this all sorts of wrong. And we're gonna add this shadow color over here too. And we're also going to add it to the walkway. We're not gonna cover it completely, we're gonna dab it, kind of like how we were doing before. And when we dab it, we're gonna actually do it in horizontals. So when I'm dabbing it, which I want it to stay light back here, so I'm just gonna pick up that. We're gonna add the color in lines going across, and that's because these trees, their shadows are going to be cast where they are. So like there's going to be a shadow there, shadow there, shadow there, there. Like it's not going to evenly distribute shadow, if that makes sense. Alright, this is probably way too dark. It's not too bad. So, a lot of emphasis over here, and then we're just gonna blot it. And we can just kind of scribble it on, making sure we're tying into the shadows that are out here. Because the pathway isn't below or above all the other plants that are there. I want to add some darker over here. And now, there we go, all fixed. Add some darker just directly below the trees. Also over here. This one not. Basically anywhere I want shadow, where you think a shadow would fall, we're gonna add this darker color and we're gonna build it up in layers, because we don't want to just like go right in with black and then have it be super, super dark. I already heard this song. I'm not sick, I promise. It's just allergies. They must have put a filter on it at the end or something. Okay, now I want a more green. Down here. So there's still some of that dark color on my brush. So as I'm doing this, I'm mixing the green, the sap green I think it was, with what was left over on my brush. Yeah, sap green. It's gonna be dark because it's in the foreground. I also want to add some green down here. Sure, I think that that's about as good as it's gonna get with this one. Maybe add a little bit of red off onto the horizon line there, just to show there's more red leaves over here. Try to clear off that a little bit. But yeah. Let's actually make this educational though. Okay, so when doing perspective things, there's 3 different layers. There's the foreground, which is going to be what's closest to you. Those are going to be the most detailed, the darkest, most vibrant colors usually. So for us, it would be probably about right here. So it would be these trees and this bush and the front of the path. And then there's what's called the midground, which is basically everything from where the foreground stops to where, like, just in front of the horizon line, which is this horizontal line that we have out here. And then the background is going to be beyond the horizon up to the horizon kind of thing. So like here and back would all be background. And then here to here would be midground, and then right here would be your foreground. So what we could have done to make this better, or what I could have done, I don't know what you're gonna do, is establish a more cohesive foreground, midground, background. And that would probably help with the color and the overall picture. So yeah. I did have some bubbling with this just because I didn't wet it first, but it's actually not that bad. I'll come back in one of the other videos that I'm going to make today and actually show you how to fix the bubbling, just in case you get some of that too. I'm going to save this tape for the next video. Oh, look at those nice crisp lines, my goodness. And remember, you pull close. And I'll leave that middle line for you. And here it is. There you go. Scenic route. So pretty.